Hello everyone, I'm Sarah. Today is the 30th of October, so I thought that I would do the Halloween tag, since it's Halloween tomorrow. There are 7 questions I'm gonna answer. Carving pumpkins. What book would you carve up and light on fire? Whoa, heavy question. A book I didn't really like but would light on fire. I wouldn't necessarily light it on fire, but it's Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. So I didn't like this at all. They fall in love in one day. How is that even possible? I don't even believe in star-crossed lovers. Yeah, you may think it's stupid, but it's realistic. Yes, I believe in love, but I believe it takes more than one day to fall in love with another person. I'm so mad about this book. How could he write a play like that? Yeah, he's one of the greatest in the history. I love Shakespeare's writing. I really do. Some of his work is difficult to understand. This was one of the easier to understand. If you're reading Macbeth, it's a little bit harder, but I would prefer Macbeth to this. Would really light this on fire. I really didn't like it. He thought she was dead, and he killed himself. She wakes up and thinks he's dead, and she kills herself. How can they do that? You don't commit suicide just because the one you love is dead. You just don't. You cope with it and move on with your life. And I don't believe in soulmates either. You move on, you find a new guy or girl you love, and that's it. You have a happy life. I would definitely put this on fire. No, I wouldn't actually light it on fire right now. I could never do that to any book. Trick or treat. What character is a treat and what character is a trick? The character that's a treat is Carver from Fangirl or Cat. I loved her so much. I love this book so much. It was amazing. I could relate to her so much. She wrote fan fiction. When I was younger, I was a bit obsessed with One Direction, and I wrote fan fiction about them. So I can relate to this. I also can relate to be introvert. I'm an introvert. I don't go to parties and say, "Oh, party's here." I don't do that. If I go to a party, I sit in a couch and just be by myself. Or maybe I have a book with me and just sit at a party and reading. I know it's difficult to understand for people who isn't introvert, but I don't like people very much. I like some people I don't. But I don't like loud people here. But I could really relate to Kath, because she's quiet and shy person as I am. The person who's the trick is Mr. D from the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I just finished reading this a couple of days ago, and if it wasn't for Ashley from A Dash of Ash, I wouldn't have picked this book up, and I owe a big thanks to Ashley, because I love this book. And I'm really excited to start the next one, but the character who is a trick in this book is Mr. D and Zeus. I didn't like them at all. I loved it. And those two were the only characters in the book I didn't really like. So yeah, Mr. D was this arrogant asshole. I'm sorry for my language, but he was an asshole. He didn't like the kids. You shouldn't work in a place like that if you don't like kids. That's Halfblood. It was his father's idea, and I didn't like Zeus anyway. Because he didn't think that Poseidon should see his own son. How can you not do that? And just another thing, I'm just gonna comment on the book and the movie. They were almost nothing alike. I loved the movie, I loved the book, but they didn't have the same plot line. So yeah. But I'm gonna do a book talk about this later on. So I will soon be filming this and upload it. Candy corn. What book is always sweet? That book is always sweet. It's Anna and the French Kiss. I loved it. It could be Anna and the French Kiss. It could also be Lola and the Boy Next Door, or Anna and the Happily Ever After. I love those three books. Stephanie Perkins, she is a goddess on writing. I love her writing. I love how it's set in Paris and in San Francisco and in New York. I love that you could visit 3 cities. I just wish there were more books, that she would continue this series. But what's always sweet is Anna and the French Kiss. I loved it so much. I loved Anna, I loved Etienne, as you say it in French, Etienne. And it was just so romantic, and while I was reading it, I just felt I was in love. This gave me so much feels. Oh, I love this book. Ghost. What character would you love visit you as a ghost? So for this question, I'm gonna answer that Lily or James Potter, or as Lily's maiden name was Lily Evans, because I loved how we got a prequel of how they were as a kids in Hogwarts, and if J.K. Rowling would wrote a prequel about these two, oh, I would simply die. I would go use my money on those books, because I really wish she would do that. And I would just love to hear their story about how they went to Hogwarts, how they met, how they fell in love, and how the whole family life began, and etc. etc. Dressing up in costume. What character would you want to be for a day? So for this I have 2 characters. I would either be Hermione from Harry Potter or Macbeth from Percy Jackson, because they are so brave. They are so cool. They fight the villains, and they can fight. They can really fight. And with Harry Potter, I have magic. How cool is that? She's a nerd. I'm a nerd. And Annabeth, I would love to be in Greek mythology. I love the Greek mythology. I'm nearly obsessed with it, because think about it. What if the Greek gods really is alive? There is a god, not just God with the religion, but Zeus, Poseidon, Athena, and etc. etc. It would be so cool. I think it would be so cool, but I can't decide if it should be Hermione or Annabeth, because I really love both of them. They're so funny. Wizard or witches? What is your favorite Harry Potter moment? My favorite Harry Potter moment is in the first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I don't know why the first book have 2 names, but yeah. It is when Harry Potter goes into this room with a magic mirror, and he sees his parents, and I just feel so sad but also so happy because he can see them. He can see how they looked and that they have love in their eyes. They really love him. They love everything about him. And it was just too early that they died. Yeah, but my favorite moment is that from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Blood and gore. What book was so creepy that you had to take a break from reading it for a while? I don't really have read that many scary books. Recently I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer and I didn't really think it was that creepy or scary. But I haven't read this book yet, but I imagine that I have to take a break because I'm easy to scare. My little brother sometimes hides from me on the stairs and just hops out and screams at me. And I get so scared. So that book I may imagine would be scary is Carrie by Stephen King. Because it's a horror book. I have wanted this for 3 years. I've looked everywhere in Denmark for this book. So I finally found it after 3 years to look for this book. But I'm just scared to read it at night. So I am gonna wait until it's where I have time to read it in one sitting at a daytime. So this was the Halloween book tag. I really love this book tag and I will link the creator down below and I will link my social media, and if you have any requests on videos just comment what you think of my video, and comment if you like one of the books, then we can discuss it, and I will link my social media down below. And I just created a Tumblr as my book blog, so go there and check that out. So yeah, and have a great day. Have a scary Halloween.